This video is for you if you're somebody who's interested in a plant-based diet and you're also trying to lose weight, get healthier, but you are just really worried that you're gonna develop a protein deficiency, you're not gonna be getting enough protein on this diet. So little bit of my backstory. I've been on a plant-based diet for almost 6 years, since 2019, and going all the way back to when I started, what happened is that I was also really worried about protein because I was trying to build as much muscle as possible. So what I was doing is I was buying protein powders, drinking protein shakes, buying fake meats, all of that stuff. And it was great, because I was really focused on protein and I was really focused on my workouts. I was working out 6 days a week religiously every single week, but I was still not getting the optimal results. Why? Because only those two areas of my life were good. Apart from that, I was really studying a lot, so I was only getting 6 hours of sleep, which means that my workouts were suffering. I didn't have enough energy to be working out as hard as possible. On top of that, my relationships were suffering because I was so focused on the gym, that relationships with my family, friends were suffering. I was stressed out about that, and also with my career and my studies. But we all have more or less stress in our life. But what I'm trying to say, going back to that, with the protein part, I was so focused about that, I was still not getting the best results possible. And then after about a year, I got so sick and tired of drinking protein shakes that I decided to cut it out completely, stop worrying about protein, because on top of that, I was logging my food into my app every single day, and then at the end of each day, looking at that app and like seeing if I have hit the protein number or not. I mean, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be living that way? Would you like to be drinking protein shakes for every single day and worrying if you got enough protein or not into a stupid app? Probably not. So I got sick and tired of that and I cut that crap out. And what I decided to do, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be trying to get as much sleep as possible, fix my relationships, really dial in the workouts, really dial in my nutrition, because another thing is that when you're trying to focus so much on nutrition, it's not as clean anymore. Let's say fruits, your fruit consumption goes down because you're like, oh, well, fruit doesn't have any protein, so why should I be eating it? It's very, very harmful to today's society to be thinking in that way. So what I did is I cleaned up my nutrition, and what happened is, ironically, I started getting way better results because I was getting more sleep. I was getting overall better nutrition, more fruits, more vegetables, more fiber. I was getting more micronutrients that gave me more energy, ironically, to go and have better workouts to support my muscle growth. So because of that, up to this day, I'm still not worrying about protein. I'm not calculating my protein. I'm not drinking protein shakes, and I'm in the best shape of my life. So what I'm trying to tell you is the same thing. Like most people, they're so worried about protein, they're not even dialed in with their workouts. If you go to the gym, next time you go to the gym, try to take a look around. Most people are gonna be training half-assed. That's the harsh reality. Most people are gonna be on their phones, are gonna be yawning, and we're not gonna be training hard enough. I would say maybe 50%, maybe 60% intensity, because I used to work as a personal trainer and I was looking around, and most people are just not training enough. So you have to understand this. When your workouts are not even dialed in, there's not gonna be enough stimulus for your muscle to grow. Let's say, for example, if you became injured and you had to go to a hospital and you had to lay in bed, let's say for 7 weeks, maybe for a couple of weeks, you are guaranteed to be losing muscle, regardless, of how much protein you're intaking. Why? Because there's a famous quote: "Use it or lose it." So if you are not using that muscle throughout that time, there's not gonna be any reason for it to stay. Same thing with the gym. If you're working out at a 50%, 60% intensity, it's not gonna be enough stimulus for your muscle to grow. So when you think about it, majority of people are training 50%, 60%, and they're worried about protein, and they're buying all these protein shakes, buying all these fake meats, trying to log food into their apps. And ironically, we're still losing muscle. That's what gets me so upset. So, the choice is yours. What do you want to do? Do you want to be focusing so much on the protein, or do you want to take a step back and make sure that you're focusing on the sleep? Make sure you're focusing on getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. Make sure that overall your nutrition is clean. That, yeah, you're still including fruits and apple, banana, some berries in the morning, in the afternoon, at least a couple of servings of fruits, because that's gonna help you to be intaking more carbohydrates. That's what's gonna help you boost your performance and energy, throughout the day with whatever work you're doing, and especially throughout the workouts. So anyways, long story short, that was my rant. It wasn't planned as much, but I hope you were able to get some takeaways from this call. If you are interested in working with me or having a quick call with me where I could be able to answer any nutrition or fitness questions that you have, you can comment below this video. You can shoot me a message on Instagram at PBM Coach, and I'll see how I can help.